Yeah, good morning, all of you. I welcome you for the today's session. Today topic is understanding verbs in English language. We have a guest speaker today, Sri Lawrence, T.H.Lawrence. Actually, he is from Kerala, Trivandrum. He is a retired bank officer, but his interest, very much interested in the English language, and is good at in grammar, and he is a grammarian. Just I want to give brief introduction about our today's guest speaker, T.H.Lawrence. Actually did a post-graduation in English language literature and also graduate in law from a University of Kerala. After retirement, now he is practicing as an advocate in the Kerala High Court. Specialized in English grammar with over 30 years of teaching experience, including as a guest faculty in time for 10 years. Continued to coach RBI staff for professional examinations, and is a member of faculty in the YMCA Academy for Civil Services and other competitive examinations, and author of 3 books on English grammar, and also resource persons for various webinars in India and abroad. And is chairing the only affiliate in India of an American charitable organization, the Trivandrum Fuller Center for Housing. So he is the chairman for the charitable organization and occupied with academic, legal and social activities. So this is about a brief information about today's speaker, T.H.Lawrence. And he has a lot of experience in teaching, and he is also running one Facebook page related to grammar, Anglophone. So if at all you are interested, you can just go and join in that page also, so that you can learn many things related to aspects of the grammar. Of course, grammar is an important area where we should know as a learner of English as a second language. As you know, as a first language, we never much worry about the grammar. But when you are learning the other language, so especially in the English language, we should know some English grammar also. And within the grammar, the verbs plays an important role. So today our guest is going to interact with us and explain about the importance of the verbs and its role in the English language. I hope this session would help you to acquire some more knowledge and information about the grammatical aspects of English language. And now I request T.H.Lawrence to take the to start the session. You're welcome, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I am very grateful to Dr. Jani Reddy for having invited me to handle a session for his student teachers. And
yes,
and I welcome all the participants. And I have a small presentation here, and try to come with me. And I'm going to tell you something about modern grammar and how verbs are explained or described or taught in modern grammar. And I'll be going as slow as possible. And you are free to ask me any kind of questions at the end of the session. I think I'll take not more than an hour to finish this. There are about 15 slides, which I'll finish within an hour. Then you can ask me the questions. I'll give you time, and we'll have a very good interaction. You can ask me any question under grammar then. Now, please see this. I think you are able to.
Yeah, sir, it is getting.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just it is starting.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, good morning and welcome all the participants. Now see, we have probably heard of parts of speech. Not probably, we have heard of parts of speech, but probably we may also have heard of word classes. Traditionally, we call them parts of speech, but in modern grammar, we call them word classes. Both are one and the same. Now, words are classified according to the function, according to their functions in the language. That's why they have chosen to call parts of speech word classes now. That's all. There is nothing else to worry about. And you know that there are a few word classes. They are limited in number. As we know, there are 8 parts of speech or 8 types of clauses. And of these 8 types, we know that the verbs are the most important, say, word in the language. Because even with a verb, you can make a complete sentence, but not with any other word. See, when you say come, when you say go, actually these two words do express a complete idea and they can be treated as 2 sentences. That's why we say verbs are the most important words in the English language. And a teacher who is conversant with the nuances and aspects of the English verbs will definitely be able to handle the language in a very efficient and proficient manner. Let's see each one. Just I'll expose you to all the word classes and then we'll go to verbs. See here, verbs. We have do, then write, will, etc. Will in the sense that's modal verb. Then comes adverb. See, slowly, hard, seldom. You know that. Only to expose your, only to recall what we have already learned under parts of speech. Now see, noun, here, table, Mumbai, fear, etc. Now pronoun, she, her, she, he, it, they, I, etc. Now adjective, again, pretty, wise, poor, etc. Preposition, at, by, from, in, on, etc. Then conjunction, and, if, who, till, etc. Then last one is interjection, and there are many interjections of which these are common. Now, I'll just sift through all the words just by giving you a very brief definition. A verb is a word that indicates a state or a possession or an activity. That's why we say be, have, do, write, will, etc. are verbs. An adverb is a word that is used to add more information to a verb or it modifies the verb. Slowly, hard, seldom, etc. A noun is the name of anything that is concrete or abstract. See, table, Mumbai, fear. Here you will find fear as abstract. You cannot find a physical form of fear. So we call it abstract. Now, pronoun is a word that stands for any noun. Now, adjective is a word that adds more information to a noun or that qualifies a noun. Preposition is a word, see, adjective you can see pretty, wise, poor, rich, strong, tall, etc. Preposition is a word that establishes the relationship of a noun with the rest of the sentence. Then conjunction is a word which we use to combine 2 words or 2 phrases or 2 clauses or 2 sentences. Now interjection is a word which we use to express our feelings or our emotions. So these are the 8 parts of speech or word classes. And of this we'll take verb. Verb, as I have already said, is the most important word in any language, especially in the English language. Let's see here. This is a modern approach. We have 2 types of verbs. One we can call primary verbs. And they are classified under be verbs, have verbs, and do verbs. Now come to the numbered one here. See, 1. Be. You know that the verb be has all these forms. Be is one form, being, been, is, are, am, was, were. Take have. Have itself is one form, then having, and, have, has, had. Then do itself is one form, doing, done, do, does, did. Similar to do, we have so many other words. They are called do verbs. So one of the do verbs is write, for which write itself is one form, then writing, written, then write or writes, and wrote. So here you will find whatever is marked in blue are not verbs with the tenses. They are just tense-less verbs, so to speak. Others are verbs or verbal forms with tenses. Okay, leave that. We will see that again. Now, these primary verbs have a special characteristic. What's that? It can function as both main and auxiliary verbs. See here, just look at the examples below. She is a professor. Now we have used the verb is, which is in red. Now see the sentence on the other side. She is teaching. So here also we have used is, but with teaching. And here is undertaking a different role. Or you just compare both of them. She is a professor, she is teaching. So the first sentence is a main verb. See, you won't find any other verb or verbal component. And the second you will find she is teaching. Is teaching is the verbal for which there are two components, is and teaching, in which is a helping verb. It is not a main verb. So you have seen that the verb is, which is a form of be, can function as both main and auxiliary here. Now take the other have verb. I have a car. So have is the only verb there. So it functions as the main verb. Now go to the right side. I have bought it recently. Here also you have used have, but with the main verb bought. So have bought. It became have bought, which means that here the verb have is only an auxiliary or a helping verb. Go to the do verb. They do their duties. So do is main verb here. And when you come to the other side, that's right side, you will find they do not do their duties. So here the first do is an auxiliary verb and the second do is a main verb. Okay, this is how we understand how the primary verbs, that is be, have, and do, can function as both main and auxiliary verbs. Now, is, are, am, was, were, these are the verbs that can be used as main and auxiliary. Had, have, has, had. Again, these are the verbs that we can use as main and auxiliary. Then do, does, did. These are the verbs under do we can use as main and auxiliary. Again, similar to do, we have so many other verbs like write. Okay, this is the just an idea about the first type of verb, that is primary verb. Now let's go to the next. Now the secondary. When we have a primary type of verb, then naturally we also have a secondary type of verbs. So here, secondary verbs are modals. Modals in the sense they are, see, you can just see below, shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, need, dare, ought. These are the modals traditionally. Now modern English also accepts used to, going to, had to, etc. Or as modals. Anyhow, we will just leave them there. And here we will take the traditional ones, that is shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, need, dare, and ought. These are models. Why do we call them models? Because they actually indicate, or they are used to indicate the mood of the speaker. Whenever we want to say something, it depends upon our mood, how we choose a model and express our idea. Now, these models can function only as helping verbs. So, see here, only auxiliary or helping functions. They cannot function as main verbs. Or, in other words, you cannot make a sentence with shall alone, or should alone, or will alone, would alone, and so on. No, you have to have a main verb. So earlier we saw under be, have, and do, we can have these two verbs in two places, main as well as say main and auxiliary. Here when you come, you will find it, or you will find the models coming under auxiliary verbs alone. Look at the examples. We shall go for a walk. Now, suppose you take away go, then it will become we shall for a walk. Does it convey anything? No. So, unless the model has a main verb, the verbal cannot function correctly in a sentence. So, a model is a helping verb, so it needs a main verb, and with the main verb, it functions with the main verb. So, the verbal now becomes acceptable. Look at the second one, they will meet you soon. We can't say they will use soon. And so here will comes and support meet to give the mood of the speaker. Now, see, take the first one, we shall go for a walk. The speaker suggests that they should go for a walk. So it's a mode of suggestion you can find there. Now, the second sentence, they will meet you soon. That there's a possibility of them meeting you soon. So here will meet possibility. Here shall, that is suggestion. Now we must obey the law. So must we have used. What's the mood of the speaker? A kind of mandatory act, compulsory act, or it is a thing that cannot be defied, that cannot be disobeyed. So we must obey the law. So compulsion. Then he can speak Telugu. So here, the mood of the speaker is that he says that the other man, he can speak Telugu. He has the capacity, or he has the ability to speak Telugu. So in all these cases, when you use shall, you have a mood. When you use will, you have another mood. When you use must, still you have a different mood. And when you use can, a mood that's different from all the above. So a model will always indicate the mood of the speaker. Now, incidentally, this can also indicate the mood of the listener. That's a different issue. We will see. So it is to be called models, these verbs, and the spelling also, please take note of it, M-O-D-A-L-S. And the models, the word model is derived from the word mood. Okay. Now types, we already classified verbs under two heads, that's it, primary and secondary. Now again, further classification is there. Verbs can also be classified as transitive and intransitive. So what does transitive mean, and what does intransitive mean, and even what does ditransitive mean, we will discuss now. See, a transitive verb is one that takes an object. So whatever verb you use, if they take an object, then of course they are called the transitive verbs. Intransitive means a verb that does not take an object is called intransitive. And ditransitive verbs are those verbs that take two objects. So what did we understand from this? There are mainly two types of verbs. They are transitive and intransitive. And the transitive can be monotransitive or ditransitive, and the other is intransitive. So when you say monotransitive, it has only one object. When you say ditransitive, it has two objects. So transitive, monotransitive or ditransitive are transitive verbs. Intransitive verbs are those verbs which do not have objects at all. So you have now come to know, you have classified verbs in terms of transitive and intransitive nature. Let's now see we have in terms of object you can say. Now it is necessary that we should know what an object is. What's an object? An object is the person or the thing that suffers or receives the result of the activity undertaken by the subject. So the sentence might confuse you, but at the same time, please take note of this. This subject, a person, see, we are exposed to the very traditional example, Rama killed Ravana. Okay, so Rama is the subject here. What's the activity that he undertakes? That is killing. Then who suffers that, or who is the result of that? Who suffers? The sufferer is Ravana. So here, an object is a person or thing. So here it is the person Ravana. So Rama killed Ravana. In that sentence, Rama is the activity undertaken or the subject or the actor, whereas Ravana is the object. Now, in order to understand whether, or in order to detect whether a verb that you see is or that you use is transitive or intransitive, there is a small short way. See, this is a shortcut. Ask the verb what and whom. There are two questions that you can ask. What and whom. Not who, whom. Now, when you ask these two questions, what happens? The verb may give you an answer, may not give you an answer. And when it gives you an answer, it can be one answer or it can be two. This will be the situation. Now see, say whether the following verbs are transitive or intransitive. Let's see. I've told you, you can ask two questions to the verb, that is what and whom. Now see, wait. What? No answer. Whom? No answer. Don't say I am waiting for him, there is for him. No, no, no. You ask the verb. Without any preposition, you must have the answer. So wait, you are not waiting anything. Whom? You are not waiting any person. Okay. Now take walk. What? You don't get the answer. Walk. Whom? You don't get the answer. So the verbs to which you ask these questions are not able to give you an answer, then naturally these verbs are intransitive. And go to the third verb, write what. Yes, there can be an answer. I'm writing a letter. See, so what? There is an answer. And go to the fourth verb, give. What? There can be an answer. What? Give a gift. Whom? I am giving you a gift. See, I am giving you a gift. I am giving what? A gift. And whom? You. There are two answers. Up to, I mean, you have got answers for what and who. So from this you can come to know that wait and walk are intransitive verbs, while write is a monotransitive verb and give is a ditransitive verb. Understood? So this is what we understand in terms of, we understand transitive and intransitive verbs in terms of an object. Let's now go to the next slide and see. Certain verbs that are usually intransitive can also be used as transitive. This is another aspect of the verb. See, run. Usually when you ask the questions, run, what? Usually you won't get an answer. Whom? You won't get an answer. Fly. You won't get. And move also you won't get. At the same time, you can use these verbs in such a way that they become capable of giving you an answer. And that is called transitively used. So certain verbs can be that are already intransitive can also be transitively used. So here, run. See, I have given intransitive verbs have only active voice. That means they do not have objects. We can have passive voice in respect of verbs that are transitive or that have objects. That's the position. Now see, intransitive verbs have only active voice. Example, he runs fast. Here I have used the runs in an intransitive way or in the normal way. And here if you ask runs what, you won't get an answer. Runs whom, you won't get an answer. At the same time, please come to the last line, this example. He runs a hotel. Here, if you ask runs what, a hotel. Now, what do you understand from these two examples? In the first example, which is in black, you find that runs is used as an intransitive verb, whereas in the second example, you find that runs is used as a transitive verb. Here, runs what? A hotel. If you can passivize this sentence, how a hotel is run by him, whereas he runs fast. This cannot be passivized just because here the verb runs is intransitive. I think you have understood the difference between transitive and intransitive and the role of objects in a objects with regard to verbs. Now see. Again, we can say classify verbs. So we already seen verbs are classified as primary and secondary. Then we have seen transitive and intransitive. Now the third type of classification is finite and non-finite. What's finite? A finite verb is one which has a tense. So see the examples. He eats, she slept, I saw. These are the sentences where you find the verbs used with the tense. So here come to the second one too. Non-finite verbs have no tense. You will come to that. A is progressive participles, giving, then showing, writing. You cannot use these as verbs in a sentence unless they are supported by some other say tense carriers or other auxiliary verbs. Now perfective participles, see here, given, shown, written, etc. They are perfective participles. And the last one is infinitives. That is with the two or without two. Without two, we call them bare infinitive. So here, to do, to go, or do, go, etc. So when we classify verbs in terms of tense, we have two types of say verbs. They are finite and non-finite. In finite verbs, you will find a tense, and when you analyze these verbs, he eats, that is in the present. She slept, slept is in the past. I saw, saw is in the past. So you just keep taking any verb like this, and you will find that there will be a tense. And as you see here, eats, that is present tense. As you see here, slept, the past tense. Again, in saw, you see past tense. Okay. In these cases, you will not find a tense, so that we call them non-finite. Earlier, we used to call them, say, giving, showing, writing, etc., present participle. But in modern English, it is not called so. Especially I do not call them so because it's a misnomer. Here also perfective participles we call. Earlier it was a past participle. Here it is present participle, here past participle. Just because people like me do not use it, just because we cannot assign past or present to such non-finite verbal forms since they do not have tense at all. Okay, infinitive, that is with the two or without two. So this is the third type of classification of verbs. Okay, now let's go to, this is the main, and this is a very important aspect and important question. We have classified the verbs in three different ways, and the last category was in terms of say tenses, that is finite and non-finite. Then what's the tense? When we classified verbs in terms of say objects, we knew what an object is. Here, when we classify verbs in terms of tenses, we should know what a tense is. So what's tense? A tense usually, not always, see the definition or the explanation. A tense usually, but not always, indicates the time of happening of an activity. Okay, the time of happening of an activity. Now, The second question is, how many tense forms do English verbs have? Do not come out with your answers. There are three. No, there are only two tense forms for the English verbs. They are just present and past. You will not find a third tense form for the English verbs. So we uh, definitely we should say that we have only two tense forms for English verbs. So this is a nuance of the English verbs which usually teachers of English do not lay stress on. Actually, you should take this aspect into account while teaching students, because students should not take it for granted that English also has three tense forms. English verbs also have three tense forms, as we, our languages, our Indian languages, most of the Indian languages have. When you take, I think in Telugu or in Kannada or in Malayalam or in Tamil or in Hindi, you can take a verb and you can find three forms. They are present, past, then future. But when you take an English verb, you will not find three forms, you will find only two forms. Let's see now. Yeah. Then, so I have already said that we have only present and past tense forms for the English verb. Then what's the way out to have future tense? That question must be answered before we go further. Now, how do we manage? So how do we refer to a future time? So the answer is, there are some three answers. See, it is not always necessary to have a future tense to refer to a future activity. So this is a modern concept, that I am discussing here. So please take note of this. As teachers, you should take note of this. It is not always necessary to have a future tense to refer to a future activity. Then we can indicate the future activity even with a present tense construction. You may wonder how it's possible. We'll see. Then we can borrow a model auxiliary verb and use it for making the future tense form if required. So we can borrow, or we have to bring in a different word to make a future tense form. English language or English verbs do not have their own future tense forms as we have. So see, as we have, let's talk about a Hindi word. Khana, you take khana, that means eat. So khata hai, that is present. Khaya, that is past. Khaunga, that is future. But if you take the corresponding English word here, eat, you will find eat or eats coming in the present, ate in the past, which is the third form. It doesn't have. So what we do, we take will. So say, I eat, I will eat. So this is how, or this is why we say English verbs have only two tense forms. And we make a future tense with the help of a model for which we usually take will. Accordingly, I have given you an example here. He will go to Hyderabad tomorrow. So, will go to Hyderabad tomorrow. That's, of course, that indicates a future activity. Now look at the second sentence. He is going to Hyderabad tomorrow. Doesn't it indicate the same activity? He will go to Hyderabad tomorrow. That's a future activity. He is going to Hyderabad tomorrow. That also is a future activity. Both of them indicate a future activity. You have to agree that. Now, when you agree with me, as far as these two examples are concerned, you should also know that in the first case, what we have used is a future tense form, the verb go, with a model, whereas in the second, we have used a present progressive form of the verb go, that is going. Both indicate the same. This this example, the second example, supports the view that it is not always necessary to have a future tense to refer to a future activity. Or it also supports the second one, we can indicate the future activity even with the present tense construction. Right? And the third one is supported by this. See, we can borrow a modal auxiliary verb and use it for making the future tense form if required. That is, we will go to Hyderabad tomorrow. So now we have understood in the absence of its own future form for an English verb, what do? We use a model to indicate a future tense form. Okay. If we do so, how many tense constructions we can have? That's the question. So how many can you have? How many tense constructions can you have? So when you are talking about tense constructions, we should also take into account there will be two. One is active voice and the other is passive voice. So in active voice, how many? And their corresponding passive voice, how many? We will see them in detail now. So uh, though we have basically with the help of a model three tenses here as past, present, past, future. Future I have always written, I always write like this, future with a modal verb, not its own. So here, present, past, future, and here you will find the symbol. That means a verb can come in the present tense form in present tense in four forms. See, as simple, as progressive or continuous, then as perfect, and as perfect progressive or perfect continuous. Now see here, you have to take like this, see, diagram. Present simple. So the verb that we have chosen is write as a specimen verb. Write will appear either as write or writes in simple form, present simple form. See, present simple, write or write. Then how will it appear in the progressive or continuous form? So here, see, is writing or am writing. Then you go to perfect, present perfect. How will it appear? Has written or have written. Then perfect progressive. How will it appear? See here, present perfect progressive. This is how it has to be named or it has to be right. So has been writing or have been writing. So we have seen that the verb write has four forms in the present. That is present simple, present progressive, present perfect, and present perfect progressive. They are write or writes, is writing or writing, am writing, or has written, have written, or say has been writing or have been writing. Now go to the past. So we have wrote as the past of verb write. Now what's the past say progressive? That is was writing or were writing. First past perfect had written. Past perfect progressive had been writing. So come to future. So we are taking will here. See, will, with will we are making will write, will be writing, will have written, will have been writing. See, will write, will be writing, will have written, will have been writing. Thus, we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 into 3, 12. 12 tense construction for the verb writes in the active voice. Here we have put active voice. So, in active voice, we find that we can have as many as 12 tense constructions as say tabulated here. Now let's go to the next. See here. Here we are actually exposed to the corresponding tense constructions of the verb write in the passive voice. See here, it is passive. I have written here passive. See, tense passive voice. So now we should be able to visualize in mind, so that it will be easy. As teachers, you are expected to do so. So present symbol here, as we read, present symbol. There, what did we see? Write or writes. So how do they appear here? That verb, write, the passive appears here as is written, are written, am written. Okay. When we move to progressive, we find that it will appear as is being written, are being written, or am being written. Then perfect, it will appear as has been written or have been written. And in the perfect progressive, it will appear as has been being written or have been being written. Now come to past, where you will find was written or were written. In the progressive form, you will find was being written or were being written. And the perfect, you will find had been written. And the perfect progressive, you will find had been being written. Now come to future. So future, how do you see it in the active? Will write. That has changed into will be written. And the progressive, how do you see it? Will be writing. That has changed into will be being written. In the perfect, how do you see it? Will have written. That has changed into will have been written. And again, the last is you saw it in the active as will have been writing. Here, it has changed into will have been being written. So these are the corresponding changes of the verb write from active to passive. But a question may now have arisen in your mind as to whether we have this has been being written, had been being written, will have been being written, etc. Are they there? Are they there in the language? Are we using them? This may be the question. Now, your question, your question, of course, or you may even doubt whether what I say is correct or not. Yes, you are right, because we actually do not use these perfect progressive tense constructions in the passive voice as shown below. That's why we are striking it off. See, on God, this also has gone, and now, yes, this also has gone. Now, one more will be there, that also is specific. See here. So, when we come from active voice to passive voice, the tense constructions, 12 tense constructions that we found in the active voice have shrunk to 8 now. See, 4 are out. So, this actually tells us or makes us believe that there are 12 tense constructions in the active voice and only 8 in the passive voice. And we have seen the corresponding tense constructions. Okay, this concept has to be borne in mind by any teacher of English while teaching their students. As I have taken it in a detailed manner. Now, use of tense constructions. You may wonder, why should we have all these tense constructions? Are they necessary for us in our everyday life, or do we ever use them? Yes, most of them we use in our day-to-day life. Some of them, of course, we may not use as often or as frequently as we use the other tense constructions. Now, see, present simple. What are the uses? I just expose you to the uses and then we'll come to a conclusion. Okay. Present simple. Present simple tense construction is usually used to refer to a habitual activity or a scientific fact or a universal truth. When I say to a habitual activity, what can be that? How can we simplify it? See, I get up at 6 a.m. every day. I eat vegetarian food. I go to bed at 10 at night. So in all these cases, I have used the present simple. I get up, then I go to bed. See, present simple. But what are the sentences? How do they sound to you? Don't they sound to you as a habitual activity of mine? Yes, I get up, I sleep, then I eat. I can say I eat only vegetarian food, or I have my lunch at 1 o'clock. So all these are things that are habitually done by me. So it indicates that, for which we have to use present simple. Then scientific facts. You may have, see, let's take this. The earth is round. Okay, that's a scientific fact. And we use only is. It is not that the earth is having a round shape. No, the earth is round. Or the earth moves around the sun. We don't say the earth is moving around the sun. The earth moves around the sun. So here, moves is in the symbol, say, past symbol tense construction. Again, we can take another aspect. See, 2 units of hydrogen joined with one H2O. Yes, 1 unit of say oxygen and form water. So 2 units and 1 unit, they form water. See, so they are present simple. Now, universal truth, as I will see, time and tide waits for no man. See, time and tide waits for no man. Waits, that is present simple. And you can also have say proverbs. Most of the proverbs are in the say present simple form. All that glitters is not gold. Then say what I mean, again you can have, see, time and tide waits for no man, or slow and steady wins the race. That's another proverb. Slow and steady wins the race. So in order to refer to a habitual activity or a scientific fact or a universal truth or even a proverb, you can use present simple. There are even other occasions like commentary. When you want to just make a commentary about a game or a match going on, then also you may use this present simple. Okay, now let's come to present progressive. Present progressive is very easy. You can remember it. It is used to refer to an activity that's going on at present. Now, what are the activities going on at present? You are listening to me. See, are listening. That's present progressive. I am talking to you. See, I'm talking, that's present, say, progressive. So, to refer to an activity that's going on at present. Now, we are using what is known as present progressive. Now, going to present perfect. Why do we use present perfect? To refer to an activity that's complete or has some connection to the present. See, that is complete, present perfect. That you can say, I have read the book. That means I don't need it anymore. I have already read it. I have read the book. That is complete. Now, I see this since say 1990. I have lived in the house. You see. So here also I have lived. That is present perfect since 1990. So you started living here in 1990, and even now you have lived. That is to this point. You are living in that house. Is there? It's a fact. So in order to refer to some activity that has some connection to the present, you use present perfect. So since 1990, I have lived in this house means till now you have lived here. Now, present perfect progressive. That is used to refer to an activity that commenced at some time, some specific time in the past and is still continuing now. See, that's the nature of present perfect progressive. That's a place where we have to use present perfect progressive. Refer to an activity that commenced at some specific time in the past. Let's now take, we started this webinar at 10 o'clock. Okay. Now it's still going on. And it will go on for some more time, you know that. So, how do you say? The webinar has been going on since 10 a.m. See, has been going on. There you are using present perfect progressive, right? Now, you have just had some exposure to the main users of the present tense constructions. That is present simple, present progressive, present perfect progressive. Now, let's see the next. That's the corresponding ones. Past simple. Why do we use past simple? To refer to an activity that took place at some specific time in the past. We are just leaving that. We are not connecting it to the present. Please remember this. To refer to an activity that took place at some specific time in the past. So, you just suppose that you went to bed at 11 last night. So, you need to say, I went to bed at 11 last night. or I slept at 11 last night. So that is how you refer to an activity that took place at specific time in the past. I saw a film yesterday. So I saw a film yesterday. No problem. Yesterday there was some, say the first show at 6 o'clock. You must have gone to the theatre and seen the film. So you can say, I saw the film yesterday. So in order to refer to an activity that took place or that happened at some specific time in the past, you need to use past symbol. No other tense construction, past symbol. Please remember this. Specific time is important. Specific time. Okay. Now go to the next. Past progressive. Just as present progressive, which is used to refer to the activity that is going on at present, we are using past progressive to refer to an activity that was going on in the past, at some time in the past, that was going on. So here, you can say, I was sleeping, say, from 11 to, say, 6, 5 this morning. So I was sleeping. Another one, I was having breakfast when my friend called at my residence. Of course, now there is lockdown. Your friend may not have the freedom to call at your house. Anyway, let's suppose he visited you. So when my friend visited, I was having my breakfast. Now see, what happened when something else happened? In that case also you can use past progressive. So one actually was in progress while the other took place. Now, past perfect. Past perfect, there are two main uses, One is to refer to the first of the two activities taking place in the past. The past two activities could have taken place. Then you would be confused as to how to express them correctly. So the first activity can be put in the past perfect tense construction. That is, past in the past can be put in the past perfect tense construction. Just see this. When I went to the, to my friend's house, he had left his house. You wanted to meet him. So when he went there, what happened? He left. He had already left, so you could not meet him. So you can say, when I went to his house, he had left for his office. That means two activities taking place here. One is you are going, the other one is leaving for the office. So two activities are in the past. So which one should have happened first, or which one do you want to express as having happened first? He's going. That's why you could not meet him. He's going. So you say, when I went to his house, he had left for office. That was the first activity. Now another use, which I have not mentioned here, another use is to change the present simple and present perfect tense to past perfect while reporting a direct speech into indirect speech. When you want to report a direct speech into an indirect speech, if you find normally a past symbol, then it will change to past perfect. If you find a present perfect, that will also change to past perfect. Then the fourth one, past perfect progressive, to refer to an activity that was in progress until another activity took place. See, say for example, what? Say a child was actually crying for a long time, and the child's mother was out of the house and she was standing elsewhere. But at last, on hearing the child cry, she rushed to the spot. And what happened? She immediately started breastfeeding the child. So the child stopped crying. Now what happened? The child had been crying until its mother started breastfeeding. See, until that time it had been crying, and the crying was over as soon as the mother started breastfeeding. So, in order to indicate an activity that was in progress until another activity took place, we are using past perfect progress. Right? Now, let's go to the third type, that is future. future symbol to refer to an activity that is likely to happen in the future. See, I'll go to Hyderabad tomorrow, you said. That's likely to happen in the future. But at the same time, I say that I am going to Hyderabad tomorrow. That is more certain. It is almost a scheduled activity. Okay. Now here, only to refer to an activity that is likely to happen in the future, you can say, I'll talk to you, I'll see you there, or I'll come there, I may do that, all these things. These are all future referring to. Now, future progressive to refer to an activity that is likely to be continuing in the future. See, the present progressive, that which is happening or continuing at present. Past progressive, that was continuing in the past. Now, future, that will be continuing in the future. So, let's say after 15 minutes, there will be an interaction between you and the participants, between the participants and me. So, what will be happening then at 11:15? We will be interacting. See, at 11:15, we will be interacting. So, here we use future progressive because we are referring to an activity that is likely to be continuing in the future then that time. Okay. Now future perfect, that is to refer to an activity that will have already been complete in the future. So again, let's take this situation. 11:15 we will have an interaction, as I have already said. Now 11:14. At 11:14, what would be the situation? I will have completed my talk, right? That will have completed my talk. Will have completed is the future perfect tense construction. Okay. Now, future perfect progressive. That is to refer to an activity that will still be continuing at some time in the future. So, here, again, let's come to this. After, say, I mean, at 11:15, we start our interaction, and 11:30, we actually want to put a stop. So, until 11:29, what will happen? The interaction will have been continuing, say, future perfect progressive till 11:29. So, this is how we use future symbol, future progressive, future perfect, and future perfect progressive tense constructions in our day-to-day life. Okay. Are you? I hope you are able to get an idea about what a verb is and what are the what are the characteristics of a verb and how we can classify verbs and how we can have tense constructions for a verb and where we use such tense constructions and so on. Okay. Now I am just 11. Your questions and answer. I am just concluding the sessions here.
They seems always new to for a language learners, especially English as a second language.
Yes, yes.
It's a very nice session, and it's very totally in a complete shape from the word to from simple verbs to how it has been classified under different areas, and you have given with the examples. Very nice. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request.
Let me expose them to an Arabic saying,
Yes, sir,
where
please.
the structure of the sentences will definitely interest them. Let me see.
Yeah, please, sir.
I'll expose them.
Yes.
Please look at this. He who knows not and knows not, he knows not is foolish, Shanim. One type of, this is one type of man. He who knows not and knows not, he knows not is foolish, Shanim. See the structure of the sentence.
Yeah.
Now, the other one, he who knows not and knows he knows not is simple teaching. See, you have to take care of the structure of the sentence. Only then will you be able to understand the meaning.
Sir, let them write. Note down these 2-3 sentences.
Okay. I'll give.
Trainees, if you want, you can note down these sentences.
Yes.
He who knows not and knows not, he knows not is foolish. They need some explanation, sir. For this.
No, let them also come out with this during interaction. I'll tell them. Okay.
He who knows not. Knows not. He
Okay,
knows
I
not.
hope they
Yeah.
have taken down.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Next
see
one.
the next one. Then next one. Okay. He who knows and knows not, he knows, is asleep. Wake him. Third type of people. And we'll go to the last type. That is, he who knows and knows he knows is wise. Follow him. This is a very good proverb.
Yeah.
Apodam, they say, Arabic apodam. This I learned when I was in my high school.
Oh, great.
Okay, sir. Now we'll have the interaction. I think I can stop
Yes,
sharing
sir.
and I
Please.
can
Yes, sir. Please.
face them now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Today's session. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. Now,
Thank you
the
very
floor
much.
is open to
Yes.
students to interact with Lawrence, sir. Yeah. Trainees?
You can ask me any questions.
Yeah, any
Any type
question.
of
You are free
questions.
to ask any, not only tense, of course, you can also other aspects also,
Yes,
sir,
yes, yes.
with permission. Yeah. Sir, before they coming, they have some hesitation in asking questions. I have one doubt, sir. In spite of many years of studying the grammar, it start from I mean primary classes, class third, fourth, fifth, and it continues till degree. And every year we are attempting examination by covering this grammar syllabus and tenses also. Why we unable to use it properly in our while we are writing, while we are conversing with others? Could you give me some possible reasons and how we can avoid it?
See, as we have to first make an introspection as to whether we always speak to our own students in
Yeah.
English while teaching English. That's the question.
Yeah.
We don't. Of course, when it becomes absolutely necessary to explain a context or a word, you can use your say mother tongue. There is nothing wrong, but that does not mean that you should use about 70 to 80% mother tongue and 20% English and teach the students. No, in this process, what happens? Neither the teacher nor the student is benefited, because the teacher loses his grip of the English language, and so does the student, who does not get anything from you, because most of the things are explained in Telugu or in Malayalam, whatever it be, the local or the mother tongue. So that's one thing. Second, our exposure, external exposure out of classroom, I mean, to English is limited, or it is not made use of by the learners of English. That's another reason. See, we should read newspapers, we should listen to discourses, debates, discussions, and we should listen to newscasts, and we don't do that. And another aspect, yeah, when there is a chance to speak to others, do we speak? And now see, you have asked the participants, there are more than 40, 45 participants, to speak to me, to ask me any questions. Why is there that hesitation? That should not be there. You should get rid of the hesitation and come forward with whatever English you know. Let it be broken, incorrect, or ungrammatical. Doesn't matter at all. You have
Yes.
the courage to speak to others in the English that you know.
Yes, sir. Mixing. Yeah. Yes. It's a great. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is, as you said, lack of exposure and teacher role. A teacher is not effectively using the language in the
Yes,
classroom.
yes,
That would be the main reason. Second is exposure. Third was the initiation of the individual. Yeah.
yes, yes. That's
Rainis, now Saris is asking you to at least whatever the language you have, just try to interact. No worry about the broken or some mixing with your local language or Hindi or other. If at all, if you ask in Telugu, that also I will ask sir and by translating.
yes, you
But
can translate. Now,
yeah,
no,
that is
Miss
also possible.
Sujata, I can
Yes.
see one name, Miss Sujata. Do you
Yeah.
have anything to ask me?
Yes. Sujata, do you want to ask anything? Yeah, you can chart down also. If at all, if you don't want to ask, you can
Yes, yes. You
you can
can
write the
write down
question in
that.
the chat box. Yeah, you're welcome. As I said, sir, trainees, yeah, you write in the chat or else you can ask, sir, if at all anything related to grammar.
I think I am able to see some chat here, including that of Dr. Albert Ryan. I think
Yeah,
he may have left now.
yes, yes, sir, yes,
At
yes, sir.
10:27, he actually he greeted us
Yeah,
and
yeah, he was there. I greeted him also. Yeah.
yes. Then I write codes. So while writing the codes, I face problem or confusion whether I should use would or could. How to overcome from this confusion, sir? See, the very word code tells you that you are not supposed to change anything because you are
Hmm.
quoting somebody's words, and those words should be quoted. See, verbatim, without any change at all. So there is no question of using would or could in that case. You have to just say ask not the nation what you have got from the nation, but ask yourself what you have given to the nation. This is something what something like this, has been said by John F. Kennedy, American president. So he actually may have used some different words, and we are not supposed to change the words. So ask not what the nation has given you, ask yourself what you have given to the nation. So here we cannot change anything. Okay. And
Okay.
Gandhi has said, be the change you want to be. So we cannot change anything here because it is he who has already uttered those words and it has become as a characteristic of Gandhiji. So we are not supposed to change. So the question of would or could cannot come. You have to quote exactly as it was spoken by the person. Okay. Any other question?
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yeah. Good
Yes,
morning, Neha.
Neha.
Yeah.
Sir, to become a perfect in grammar, what aspects we have to take daily in daily routine, daily life? What
See,
aspect we have
your
to
your
take?
voice is not
Uh,
so clearly audible. It is
Sir,
slightly.
sir, to become a mastery in grammar, what aspects we have to consider?
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you are interested in mastering the grammar of English, you will have to pay a lot of attention. And actually, you should have paid attention right from the beginning, not now. I don't know how old you are, but even then, if you are
18 years, sir,
so
around there, 18 or
18.
19
Of
years.
course, you can. Of course, time is there for you. So you can even evince interest in grammar now. There is no problem at all, and you can be very good at grammar. But what you have to do is you go from the basics of grammar, take a sentence and analyze it, for which you will need word classes or parts of speech. See, you just take a sentence, grammatically correct sentence, try to analyze it. When you analyze it, you will find mainly subject and predicate. At the same time, when you further analyze subject, you will find a noun or a pronoun. Then in predicate, you will find as a verb or sometimes an object, then sometimes a preposition and so on. So take a sentence and analyze it in order to be certain about the words that appear there and of their roles. This will be possible only if you know clearly the word classes or parts of speech. Then go from verb as you have explained today. Verbs are the most difficult words in English. See, I have not touched the models, I have not actually dealt with in detail model. Models alone will take about minimum 2 hours for me to explain. I was telling you that a model indicates the mood of the speaker, and it could also indicate the mood of the listener. So in order to explain how a listener is, say, influenced by what he listens to or what he hears, I have explained a lot of things. So these are the nuances in English. Okay, English verbs especially. Now, see, after having exposed ourselves to the partial speech in general, we have taken a sentence and we are now analyzing it, or we are parsing it, and each one we are the function actually undertaken by, or the role played by each word is further analyzed, and we come to a conclusion that this is actually the structure and this is the manner in which it should be used, and the sentence is say in a simple sentence or complex sentence or compound complex, or it is in the say declarative form, or it is in the exclamative form, or in the interrogative form, or in the objective form, or in the say see, there are 5 types of which type this sentence belongs to. So all these things will come to your mind. So you have to start from the scratch. You
Yeah.
start from scratch and then pay special and longer attention to grammar, each aspect of grammar. Then you can become a good grammarian, or you can become a better grammar than what you are now. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. It does mean that you have to analyze the language. Analyze. When you are analyzed, then only you will get the more information than reading it, say, parts,
Yes.
bits and parts. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Next.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Amma.
Yes,
Yeah.
Vinayasri.
Vinayasri.
Sir, that just now you have shown in screen, sir, that he who knows not and knows he knows not is simple, teach him. Shall I tell that the meaning, sir?
So are you able to explain it?
Yeah, sir, just I'm trying to explain it.
Okay, which one? First one, let me see. The first one.
Sir, I couldn't write that first sentence.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I wrote second one.
Okay. Second one, you read and tell me.
Okay, sir. Shall I tell in Telugu?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I may not be able to understand.
Yeah. Of course, you can tell
me.
using mix, so that I will try. Yeah. He who knows not and knows he knows not is simple. Yeah.
Teach him. అతనికి తెలీదు కానీ అతను అనుకుంటాడు అతనికి తెలుసు అని. సో జస్ట్ టీచ్ హిమ్ అంటే అతను అనుకుంటాడు అతనికి తెలుసు అని. సో అతనికి మొత్తానికి అయితే తెలీదు కానీ మనం నేర్పియాలి.
Sir, what she is telling is the person who tries to understand that he knows everything, but actually he knows nothing. That is why we need to teach him.
No, that's actually the person actually does not know.
Yeah, that doesn't.
And he does not know the fact that he does not know.
Okay, does not know the fact that he does not know.
No.
Okay.
So he is very simple. Teach him.
Okay. The person does not know, and he does not know that.
The fact that he does not know.
Okay. How it is different, sir? The person knowing that he knows. Okay. The person does not know, and also he does not know that he does not know.
See, sir, it has to be read like this. He who knows not, that means he who does not know. He who knows not and knows he knows not, that is basically he does not know. And now he knows that he does not know. That man is simple. You teach him. This is the meaning.
Okay, sir. Okay, nice. Yeah.
Who was that?
Have you got it, Vinay? Vinayasri?
Vinay.
Yes,
you got it?
Yes, sir. It is so diplomat, reverse manner.
Yeah.
I told you it was in the 60s, no, I mean late 50s that I heard this from one of my English teachers.
Yeah,
So
great,
I was
sir.
fascinated by this.
I think it shows that you have a good exposure of language. Huh?
and you take your own time and try to read it slowly. And see, while reading, you have to give adequate pause, or while writing, you have to give some punctuations, comma here, which I have not given. Only thing you have to, you try to give commas and then read. He
Yeah,
who knows not, put a comma, and knows what? He knows
comma.
not. That means he is first a person who does not know anything, and he knows that he does not know anything. Okay.
Yeah, he knows that he does not know anything.
So that person is simple. You can teach him.
Yeah,
So it goes
okay.
like this. And the last one is a person knows that he knows, and he is wise. He who knows and knows that he knows is wise. You follow him. So there are persons, they actually know, but they think that they do not know what to do.
Oh, okay. He who knows and knows he
He knows.
knows.
Yes. He is wise.
Knows he knows. That what does it mean, sir? Knows he knows?
Yes, a person who knows and knows he knows. That is, he knows and he knows.
Yeah,
That's the meaning.
yeah. Uh, Great. The third one, sir, he who knows and knows not, he knows is asleep.
Third
Right?
one is he who knows and knows he. No, that's fourth one. He who knows and knows not, he knows. See, such people are, asleep. In fact, see, you may know a lot of things,
Hmm.
but you do not know that you know so much, say, information.
Yeah.
That means, you are asleep. No, you should actually know that you know it. Only then will you be able to explain it. See, as teachers, unless we know the subject we are going to discuss or teach, we will not be able to teach them.
Yes,
So
sir.
first, before appearing before the students, what we have to do is, yes, I know the subject and I am aware of it. I can teach. And there are people who know the subject, but they are afraid they do not know. They think that they do not know. So that's the meaning there.
Yeah.
So it's a very beautiful one. It will set
Yeah.
you thinking, and
Thank
you
you.
can
Thank.
reread it and understand it.
Yeah.
Only just because of that, I have given you these
Yeah.
four, say,
Yes.
situations, four types of men.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. There was in the chart, sir, what are the rules we have to follow to write effective poem?
FT poem.
Uh, in writing effective poem.
See, nowadays we have again, as in the case of grammar, we have modern grammar. We also have modern poetry now. So in order to write a poem, you first have your, say, emotions, collected in, say, on a paper. You just write down. Then try to give good words first. Okay. Then try to give, say, rhyming words for which you have to spend a little time. And then try to write it in lines. And then there is a metrical, say, requirement. And say in such and such meter, you have to write the poem and all that. If you study Shakespeare's sonnets and all that, you will come to know. But anyhow, you don't worry about it because it is a loose type of say poetry. Nowadays we find, you can write a poem the way you like. But only thing, it should attract some kind of rhythm.
Rhythm.
It
Yes.
should have some kind of rhythm. It should have some kind of rhyme, and there should be alliteration or repetition of words so as to give it a colorful, say, a sounding and a colorful look, appearance. Okay. Now, people may say, see, Wordsworth said, it is a recollection of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility, he says. That is a natural outflow. No, it is not so. Whereas the American poet, Poe, I think, if I am not mistaken, Poe has, Edgar Allan Poe has said, poetry comes out of, say, perspiration. That is 99% perspiration. And
Emotions. Emotions. Yeah.
so you have to work hard to bring out a beautiful poem. So for which you have to have emotions. Unless you are affected by emotions, I mean from within or from outside, you won't be able to express them well. So when you are when you are emotional, naturally words will come in your own language. Okay.
I think
And if
she
you want to
wants
write
some.
in English, of course, you can convert what you have written in your own language into English, or you can translate them into English.
What
So,
about the role of the
see,
grammar, sir? Here,
rhyme, rhythm, and a kind of flow should be there.
flow. What
And
about
a
the
theme, and
grammar
a
role?
theme should be there. Theme.
Grammar role, sir. What is the grammar role here?
Grammar role, not see, poets have been given some license, that's called the poetic license. They need
Yes,
not always be worried about the nuances of grammar.
the grammar. Yes, sir.
They can
That's,
write the way they like. Only thing, subjective verb agreement should be there.
yeah, little grammar. Yeah.
Yes, and the plural and singular there should be there. Then say proper noun should be used. Then it should be rhythmic. That's
That's
very important.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Students, any further questions from your side? Now it is 11:30. Really, it has already delayed, and if at all you have questions, so that sir will continue. Otherwise, we will end the session.
No, there is one question I see here.
Yeah.
So once again, please explain ditransitive verbs. I'll do that now.
Okay.
Now see.
Ditransitive. Yes, sir.
See, we have, in terms of objects, we have classified verbs into transitive and intransitive. So we will now come to transitive verbs. Transitive verbs are those verbs that take objects, and these verbs can take one object or two objects. And a verb that takes two objects is called a ditransitive verb. Whereas a verb that can take only one object is called just a transitive or monotransitive verb. Okay, I gave you an example. I gave him. Okay, I'm asking you. Show me your book. Show me your book. Show is the verb. You have to ask two questions. What? Show me your book. What? Show what? That is your book. Whom? Me. So there are two objects. One is me, the other is your book. So the verb is now ditransitive. Okay. That was I think prajna.
Prajna.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you clear, Prajna? You can
Prajna.
unmute and tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question? If you are unable to ask me, you can just put in the chat box. I shall answer it.
Anything? I think they are unable to, because of they think that grammar is a typical a tricky subject. That is why they are not there to ask anything from that. Anyway, sir, thank you very much once again on behalf of my trainees and on behalf of my DITE Vikarabad, Telangana state. Really, it's a great opportunity for us to have with you today this online session. Really, it gives us a pleasure and great learning once again into the nuance of grammar related to the verbs, understanding the verbs. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much on behalf of my
Thank you
dad.
very much,
Thank
and
you.
thanks all the partners. We'll
Thank
see.
you, sir. Thank you. We are closing the session now, sir. Thank